Welcome back to an episode of Who Would You Tell? It is 2025. I am joined today by Sandile Shangase, Shaz. My brother, thank you for making the time. Truly, massively appreciate it.
Yeah, sure.
Guys, today's topic has come to me in, I think, in a really good time. I think I've spent lots of time talking about things that, we've all struggled with. And I thought, I'm tired of the strife. Enough trials and tribulations. Sometimes speak about, things that actually get you excited.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think having spent more time with you in the past year, with you now acquiring Benchwarmers, congratulations on that, of course.
Thank you.
Launching on the bounce. I think it's been apparent to me that the thing that unites us is a love of sport.
100%.
Our common ground. I think as much as it's important to speak about the things that we all struggle with, we're also united by really, really happy things. The thing that moves me most in life is sport.
Yeah.
Shaz, I think you'd agree.
Yeah, 100%. I think sports for me has been such an anchor in my life, and not to get deep about life, but I was never super academic as a young kid, so sports actually probably shaped a lot more of my personality than I'd give it a lot of credit for. But yeah, man, sports gave me a lot of the intangibles. I know we're gonna get into a lot of those questions a little bit later, but yeah.
Yes. No, thanks for joining me, brother.
Got you, man.
In terms of discovering your love of sport, when did it start? When did you realize that this is my bite, actually?
It started in school. School is such a weird place. If you're not academically inclined, you've got to go.
No, you're toast.
You're finished.
you're a bit toast. Like, how old are you, actually?
So, you've got to find a place where you can go learn your intangibles. And I was never, super academically inclined. I love sports as a kid. So, who cares about, maths and stuff at, when you're, 9 and 10? I started super young. For me, the most, call where I can call to where I probably fell in love with sports is, I think it was 95. 95 Kobe Bryant slam dunk competition. I probably got it wrong, but my brother used to love basketball, and he still loves basketball. Shout out to Spoo. And he was just watching, the dunk contest, and I was infatuated about it from a young age. And, Kobe Bryant became my favorite athlete of all time, and so many other intangibles that he taught me in life. But that is when I fell in love with sports, and I said, this is probably the thing that is probably going to push me into other directions. And I know I was 5 years old, but I was like, this is the thing.
You felt it.
I felt it.
This is my actual truth.
It's either that or the guy from SABC who was teaching maths, and RIP to him, he's a goat. He's a goat, but I just wasn't that way inclined.
No, I hear it. I think for me, my moment came, I want to say, in two different ways. First one actually was Mduduzi Mashala.
Shout out to D Nice.
Yes.
That's my blood right there,
truly.
Man.
So Dewey and my brother, sport rival teams, obviously. Jib's a United fan. Dewey's an Arsenal fan. So that's where we align. There was an argument I watched them have. And I, at the time, this was before I'd actually watched the Arsenal game. I was young. I was toast. But I just heard Will Toward, and I said, yes, no. This man, he's too impassioned. He's too much belief.
I felt something. You fell on the wrong side of history. You went to. Let's not get into that.
You say wrong side, Shaz. When I'm at Benchwarmers, I smile more than you. Even on your happiest days. When I rest my head at night, I have less anxiety on my team than you do. But let's not do that.
In sports, life is a journey, not a destination. Hit you with quotables. Didn't they just pass Thierry Henry, your all-time GOAT, Mo Salah? Isn't he more decorated? Anyway, let's hold this
play. There's too much context.
Let's leave the accident for another time. Yeah.
But I think as that first season came to an end, United ended up winning, and I was heartbroken at the time, of course. But this first time, I felt it without having been watching week to week. The first season that I was properly, asking, I said, did we win this weekend? I had no phone. I'm toast. I'm biased.
Yeah.
There's no one I can say, give me the remote, dog. It's my time. I have to hope that Oaks aren't in the house, that they're willing to let me just watch at that moment in time.
Yeah, man.
And obviously the first full season is the Invincibles. It's sadly a fading memory. As you know,
let it fade, man. As a United fan, let it fade.
But I think being part of a collective, having someone else that you're just rooting for the same thing as, because again, I'm 5 years old, Dewey's 11. There's not tons that people that age are going to speak about. Right? It's not like we have tons of overlap.
Yeah.
But having just that small thing that's there, I think really made me appreciate sport, because I think what it means to me is actually connection.
Oof, that's what I was going to say. The ability to connect. Me and my brother have a 7-year difference, and we've always been able to connect through sports, and that's always kept us, very close. As you mentioned, we opened up, Benchwarmers together because we've always had a a core love for sports, and that's what always will connect us, no matter how old we get. We could be fighting about whatever, but sports has always been a true love. So it's a deep connector. Outside of just watching for an end result, it really connects people. And even Nelson Mandela said, the ability for sports to connect people, and not to be political about this. I know we're going through some other type of times, but you've seen historically with a country like ours how sports has been able to connect, and you forget your differences at some point.
Because you're rooting for the same thing. It doesn't matter if you don't have to know the other person's name. There is just a thing of, we want the same thing today.
And there's not a lot of times in my life I'm gonna go back in Afrikaner in my normal life. But I'll back a Drickus, I'll back a Ibn Itzabit, I'll back a Francois Pina. We might have cultural differences, but it's sports unite. So it's a weird, corny thing to say, but
sometimes this is the truth. Right? Unfortunately, all the cliches and things they come from somewhere. There's an element of truth that exists that I think just can't be denied.
That's the beauty about sports, is that it allows you to live in a cliche. Whereas in life, a lot of bubbles will burst.
Life is harsh.
Life is cold, but for 90 minutes of football, you can scream at a TV and you can, live out your childhood dreams, or whether you're playing club football for like 90 minutes, or you're watching the Springboks. It feels like life is not so bad when you're watching sports.
No, genuinely. I think the moments where I as an adult, where it probably clicked for me that this thing is actually everything. So one of my homies was toast. He'd been hurt recently. We hadn't been to speak for like 3 or 4 days. He had no phone. And I'm like, you down. When you can't, something happened to your friend, all you can do is hope something happens, something good comes your way. And I watched the game that he and I probably would have watched together, when chopping about together.
Yeah.
And the optimism that you feel at the start of the game. You could lose, that. It doesn't matter. At the start of the game, you have a chance of winning.
Yeah.
I don't think there's many things in life that give you the opportunity to start from a base point of 0. That it can go your way here.
Yeah.
This doesn't matter what happened last week, a few days before. You can have the best result here.
Yeah.
You channel optimism when there was nothing.
Yeah, 100%. And when you're talking about connectivity in terms of sports, it's I'm just thinking back about just all my businesses and people I've met in the past. I remember I wouldn't have met the guys that I met when we started until if I hadn't met them. Majority of them, whether it was on a rugby pitch, basketball court, or all of that. And we met playing under 14, under 15 basketball. That's where I met Shilly Honks and the rest of the guys. And that, trickled into varsity and, meeting all these people, these incredible people in, different spaces in a sporting arena. People like, Jafta, who became the CEO of the Sharks at a super young age. Shout out to my boy. And, Dube, seeing him going to such a high level and playing the Springboks, junior box level, you look at that and you understand how sports connected. I mean, if I was academically inclined, sure, I'll probably meet somebody who's a CA and be blown away. But nobody really cares about the dude who works at Investec. I mean, even my boy Matt.
Oh, that's the Investec, Oaks. Why?
I'm sorry. Shout out to Investec. But even my boy Maps, outside of him being a model, people forget he was the classic Clashes dude. And we met back in the day based on that. And yeah, man, it's such a weird thing. These are all people that are super connected into my life, and it all starts at the beginning with your sport, which is such a small, minute thing, but that's where it all started.
Do you ever have dreams of going professional?
Oh, everybody does, man.
So when did it stop? When did you look and say, I'm actually not the guy?
So, everybody, there's a come to earth moment. So I was pretty dope at ball. I won't lie. I started playing first team.
Can this be cosigned? Can I ask?
Yeah, you can put it in the street. You can put it in the street. I was true.
I've never seen.
I was true. And I played first team ball at under 16, and then I went to trials. Hot dang, you get to the second round. Then you see real hoopers. Then you see guys okay, cool. I'm just gonna be nice. I'll be schoolboy nice.
Yeah.
Because there are guys who I grew up with, and I was just like, oh, these guys can hoop. I mean, there's a homeboy of mine, Selepe. He's played Chepi. He's played ball at such a high level now. He played for the Cape Town Tigers in the BAL. And I used to play with him. There's a picture of us together. I have to try to find it. And we were in the same age group. But I knew, I was like, when I get to varsity, this guy going to kick on. And I'm going to go find the elements of life in varsity. And, after matric, still nice. Then I went to varsity. Then everything in varsity took me. And then the Oaks who were disciplined and I was hooping. And I tried to train at Wits. And I was like, I don't have the legs. Because I've been drinking the whole of first year. I've been eating like shit.
You've been living.
I've been living. So that's where it happened. But it's, you know, the intangibles of sports have always been with me. So I did have a dream of playing some high level of ball, whether it was just like Gauteng or like play at varsity level.
Just so I hear you.
You can speak my name at a real level.
In an arena.
Something.
I hear you.
Even if it's at a Wits arena or UJ arena. Yeah, but there's some real hoopers. So that's, bubble burst. I was like, man, you just relax. You'll be around sport your whole life. But this one, now. So yeah, I did have a dream.
Nah, look, it happens, dog. Like mine, I'm much earlier than you. I was toasted at 16.
Yeah.
I was playing at left back. I think it was against Kez. I don't even know who the Oak was. I hope I never see it because if I've raised it. No skill, nothing. But I thought I was kind of pacey at the time. I'm not this side, this side.
Yeah.
I'm young, but wiry.
Yeah.
So you just outpaced me. Like you just burnt me. Like just knocked it past. And I was like,
He hit you with the gas bell.
Like it happened twice. And then like I remember one of my teammates said, "No, boy, just stay back. Don't push too high. Like just
jockey.
just like hold it till we'll sit deep."
Yeah.
And I said, "I'm hurt."
He said, "This is."
And I don't know what happened, but it didn't happen again that game. Like I managed to just hold it.
Yeah.
Eventually got subbed, and I said, "I'm never gonna be first, lady. I'm a guy."
Yeah, but
it taught me acceptance quite early on in my life.
Yeah, it also teach you a lot of things.
Yeah, just know levels. Like it's fine. There's other guys. For this. You know, maybe this isn't your lane. Yeah, you can find another way.
Yeah, going pro. I mean, there's a lot of things that, sport has disappointed me and came back. There's another story, shit. You're going to take me back. So, and my dad always reminds me about the story. So I think I was grade 5, grade 4, grade 5. So let's say under 11, under 12. And at that time, there was an obsession of going to go play at Wits Football Club, Wits Academy. Shout out to Caesar and Paul. Well, she was like the god at the time before he went to St. John's. So he had like every record at Wits, scoring from like under 16 down. So everybody wanted to, play where he played. So we all used to trial for Wits, and this one year we just all went. I went to like 3rd round, 4th round, and this is like big, like at the time. Man, after the 4th round and it's the final cut, I got cut that final round. I've never. And like the one thing about that academy, like it taught me so much. Like you'd go after school, after soccer practice, and then you'd run the length of a professional football pitch like 5 laps, full pace. They try to break you, and we did that. I lost so much weight at that time. Jeez, I was so small, but during puberty, they cut me. I've never cried so much. My dad will remember that, like from that soccer pitch all the way back to Santa. That's like a 15-20 minute drive. And I
like full tear.
No, ball.
Like ugly cry, like
why won't they fix me?
Toast nose.
Like slowly. Like
you were wounded actually.
And the biggest lesson I think taught me was like, you'll have disappointments, really about how you react to it. And after that hard training throughout that Wits trial process, which was like a month and a half, I lost so much weight, became incredibly faster. I started athletics, and I joined our athletics relay team. And we always take the negative with the positive at that time. And flip, I will never forget that, how I balled so hard. And the second time was, I think it was the same year, grade 6, grade 7. We had, there's football league, the Catholic Football League. No, it wasn't. It was just private school league. And we had got so far deep. Mr. Williams was my coach at the time. He's actually at St. David's now. And we got to the final, and we were playing at Marks Park again. And I just remember being at Marks Park again after 2 years. And we play against Highlands. Oh my goodness. If you know the legend of Highlands, Highlands it's a football academy. They've got every, Opomani used to play at Highlands, bro. So like, those guys killed us, bro. It wasn't bad. We lost 2-1, but like once again, shattered snow leaves. But life goes on, and those are the things that build character. Really, really build character. Really, you gotta pick yourself up, and take the intangibles of learning how to be graceful in a loss. losing is very hard, and taking those lessons as well, because it's nice when you're at the mountaintop, bro. It's nice when you're winning.
Yeah.
But the biggest life lessons are taught when you take it out.
Yeah. So in terms of trying to make sense of life, when you're saying, I'm not going to the league, right? You still go and get your degree, right? You still finished.
Yeah.
What was the plan? How did you think you were going to use it at the time?
Yeah. So like going back to, we were talking about the degree. That's deep. Yeah. Shout out. No, I'm with you on that one. So the one thing about the degree, like I said, I was never, academically inclined, and one thing that sports taught me at a young age is that, what's the quote? And I was just looking at it now. Obsessiveness beats talent all the time.
Yeah.
So I got to Wits, fucked around for the first year. No, did okay, first year. Second year, it was 2010. It was the World Cup. That's how old I am, guys. I was in second year during the World Cup. 2010 was the best year in any South African's life. We didn't work for 3.5 months. We just basically, our job was to host people. So all I did was drank more than usual in varsity, partied, and I failed and I bombed out. Like I almost got kicked out of it. My dad was just like, and my mom was just like, yo, what
are you actually
doing? What is your plan in life? And I just promised myself that I'd actually just dig deep and just obsess about
just get out the mud.
Obsess about getting out, and really locking in. And I thought about, and it's also hindsight, I thought about all those L's I took in the past, whether it's the trials, whether it's losing games, and say, what did I learn about that? It's really about having the grit.
Yeah.
And, when you're not academically inclined, it's a lonely place, but you also know that hard work will get the results. Whereas I always saw like, the highly academic people in high school, going into varsity, and then going into life, is that once they wobble somewhere, it's kind of the end of the world for them.
Yeah, no, like they crash out.
Yeah. I know more people with, who were super academic in high school, who've crashed out because there was 1 hour here, but because they didn't have a sports field, or maybe I'm just, simplifying life, is
just didn't face that much adversity.
Adversity,
like the first part of it was just a lot easier.
And that is probably the only reason I got my degree, was the ability to look inside myself and say, okay, cool, I've seen what I'll look like. Let me take those life lessons and say, probably I need to go, sharpen up my skills and maybe go to a library, like the same way
like just face the book.
Yeah, like, same way like you work on a first touch, same way you work on a jump shot, you got to educate yourself and say, oh, repetition. Repetition makes excellent. Sorry guys, I'm talking a lot of sports cliche. and those things also trickle down into business as well. But yeah, that's that grit that you have to learn in sports, and working on yourself. Yeah. Whether it's academically, it comes through sports. And like I said, I didn't have those skills that you learn in a school level. So I learned it later on in life. Where through sports I learned how to better myself.
Okay. So obviously you learned adaptability more than anything else, right? Yeah. You learn you have to really log in and make this thing work somehow, some way. You got the degree that every black parent wants their child to get an LLB.
Oh my gosh!
Did you ever think, okay, I'm gonna push and work in a law firm, or did you always think I have to make this work for me somewhere else?
So I always tell people, what do you know at 18? and because you humanize your parents as you get older, because you
have context.
You have context, because
they are just guys. They're
just people.
Yeah, like they're just
people who are
pushing as well, bro.
They're people who decided to be managers and directors of children at a young age, and you only appreciate the life lessons that your parents give you later on in life. So at 18. Every black parent is like, just get the degree. You'll figure it out. You'll learn to figure it. So I lived with that mentality, and I figured it out. And I did work at a law firm for 2 years. I did do my articles, which is crazy to think. Outside of this entrepreneurial journey I've taken on, is did I ever think I'd work at a law firm? Hell no. But you romanticize things like you do in life.
Did suits do anything with you?
Exactly. Johnny Cochran. You think you're gonna be a tailored suit guy? Guys, law sucks, bro. If going to court is not as glamorous as it is on TV, preparing documents. I'm sure.
No, look, I think it's one of those. If you don't have the hunger for it, you can't pretend to have it. Because I think law requires a level of dedication that
Yeah. But the one thing I learned, working in a law firm is that I really respect people who love the law, who actually love being lawyers and attorneys and, advocates. Because I was like, this is clearly not me. This is not where I'm meant to be.
I'm happy that you guys like this, but
and it took me 2 years in my articles, and at the end of it, they offered me the contract. I said, guys, I'm trying to kill myself. And I was like, cheers, Oaks. And I'd rather figure it out. And luckily at the time, I had another, flourishing business at the time. So that was cool.
Yeah. So look, like you manage yourself. You make sure there's something. But when you were doing your articles, were you doing that consciously? That I have to make sure this other thing blows so that I can shift here and not work here in the other.
No, that's such a complex question because, I believed in myself and I believed in what we were doing. I knew I had to figure it out.
Yeah.
And I knew because of, getting a degree is no child's play. It's also very hard. You have to dig deep. There are times where you're on a back-to-back exams. I'll never forget that. Yeah. Labor law, banking negotiables, and I forget the last one. Admin law, the hardest one on earth. It'll burn you out. I had that 3 days in a row. And if I told myself I could get through that, I could get through that degree, I could get through anything I hate, and I could use what I learned in a law firm to fuel, my other entrepreneurial journey. So that's, I always say, yes, as much as I hated working in a law firm for 2 years, I enjoyed, the skills that it does. Because ultimately, what a degree does is just sharpen up who you're meant to be and what you're meant to do moving on later.
Also, crucially, I think just shows you can commit to something. Yeah, because I don't think I don't think most people have this one degree that if they study, it's going to make the rest of their life make perfect sense.
Yeah.
I think most people, you're getting the degree because it's going to help. It's just going to give you skills, generally. It's going to give you a base.
Yeah.
And then you can try to figure out exactly where you specialize, where you'll be your best self after.
Yeah. But
like push books, folks.
Yeah.
If you can.
And you know what? And I'm not ashamed to say, I'm 34 years old, I'm turning 35. The degree is really not the thing that the parents are pushing. What they're pushing is going to varsity and learning about the world. Because there's nothing, more educational than going into varsity because, we live a very sheltered life. We're to private schools. You think that this is the end all be all of your world. Then you meet dynamic people, you would probably never meet in a normal, had you just left school and just worked around your networks or moved around your networks. That is the thing of varsity. It's not really about the paper. It's the life lessons that you learn throughout your varsity process.
Yeah.
And I never thought I'd be this man type of guy and say, go to varsity and go do that.
No, but
I get it.
So we must allow it a bit.
Yeah.
Just push, bro.
My mom and my dad had a point.
They were chopping.
Yeah, because to go through life, and it's wild to think about it, if I never went to varsity, I'd never, ever probably be in these positions that I have the privilege of being in now.
Yeah.
And it's got nothing to do with private school education. It's got everything to do with the varsity and the networks that you meet in varsity. 100%. Because your varsity and it's the best time of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I never thought and that's word to LO. I never thought I'd say that on a podcast for shout out.
Yeah. So I think what I've been trying to apply in my own life when I use sport is just the thing of constantly sourcing optimism, right?
Yes.
I'm trying to enter sports media. I'm trying to push who you tell into whatever branch of media it ends up becoming.
Yeah.
And also pushing corporate spun at the same time.
Yeah.
To try and juggle it all, I feel like you're doing the same thing. How are you handling it? What's the truth? Because you're saying on the bounce, but you're also pushing corporate on top of that. What's do you feel like you're giving your all at the corporate spun?
100%.
Yeah. You have this ability to give your all wherever you go.
Yeah. I think for me, it's appreciating the opportunity.
Yeah.
And that's also just going through the process of life and sports and love for certain things. On the bounce came in because they saw I love sports and I talk about sports incessantly, whether it's the result, whether it's just philosophically, and then
I'll trust that one.
Almost shanked it. I don't believe there's such a thing as work-life balance, which is probably something I need to think about in my life.
Yeah.
I'm obsessive about, like I said, I'm probably gonna give a lot of sports cliches to this.
Yeah.
The most important thing is winning, and there's no such thing as enough time. There's not, there's some things at some points in your life are going to take a priority. Some things are going to have to take a step back, and coming off leaving until and moving into my next phase of my life was, okay, cool. I'm going to be super obsessive of what I really want to do.
Yeah.
I came in a super team, environment. Now I've just kind of got to lock into the individualistic element of what I want for myself. So, working, in the agency, working in, on the bounce and working on the other businesses that I have was a fulfillment of stuff that I needed to get into.
Yeah.
And, sometimes it's not healthy. There is no perfect work-life balance. I will not be the guy to tell you about work-life balance. If your focus for this year or this quarter is work, throw yourself behind it.
Yeah.
Because the priority is the priority, the goal is the goal, and obsessiveness beats talent all the time. And I've seen it. So I've just been obsessive about putting my goals on the line, and that's it. I hope I answered your question.
No, you did.
Yeah.
In terms of high points, right? Talking about what you've seen as a viewer, not as a man on the field. What do you think your ultimate sport highlight has been? Like the moment that left you with the most joy?
I've had a few. But ultimate. Like
the one. Like tears of joy almost.
I think, what's wild? Champions Leagues, all those things, those are cool. But I want to tell you, there's something super special about South Africa winning the Springboks winning the World Cup recently.
Which one though?
This last one. The margins being so close. And, like being lucky to work in the hospitality space at that time, you really get to see people's reactions to it. It's really not about you. It's really about you can feel the collective.
Yeah.
So that was super special. I'm watching that journey because, when we were still part of Royale, we activated throughout that process. And watching people like super emotional about that, really like crying and holding hands and ups and downs. And you're like, even people who don't like sports, that was the crazy thing for me. Like the one thing about rugby and Springboks is that South Africans are naturally nationalistic. Can I say that? Or patriotic? Sorry. Patriotic, nationalistic.
No, you fought it.
Yeah, patriotic is Africans love winning.
Yeah.
And once you get to something that we can win on a global scale, it really will connect people. So that is going to be the ultimate high. I'll leave all the club things behind because, on a club-wise, Lakers winning after Kobe was huge as well for me. It was super emotional because Kobe Bryant's my favorite athlete of all time. And when he died, I think I was probably never been that distraught about somebody I didn't know. Like my people couldn't even talk to me. My mom called me. She was like, "Yo, have you watched TMZ? Have you checked on Twitter?" And I'm like, "Yo," at that time I'm like half passed out because it broke at like 1 in the morning, and my mom was still awake. And my roommate at the time, Ndu, was just like, he knocks on my door. He's like, "Yo, have you checked Twitter?" I'm like, "Yo, this is strange. Why are you, my mom?"
Why are you guys calling me?
Yeah. And then I'm like, I pass out and I wake up. And then I got so many missed calls and I look at that. And it's just like destroyed. And, that I had a deep connection to Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant is like probably my anchor to a lot of things in my life. Like I said, a lot of people talk about how they love politicians, how they love the Pope.
Or the musician.
Yeah. But for me, it was Kobe because it made a lot of sense of the stuff that he went through because I saw it on a basketball court and that was my place to learn. So going back to the moment, it was the Lakers winning the championship after that because it was so emotionally, at that time. So that one was huge. And just as a kid, the one I won't forget is Man United beating Chelsea.
In Pens?
In Pens, in the Champions League. I think I was in grade 11. And my best friend was Chelsea. And he knew he was this close. So coming to school in the morning and there's something about the high school that is so juvenile about sports where people don't care. They came to school in Man United jersey. And they hang it everywhere. And in our locker, I just had my Man United jersey everywhere. So that's cool. So those are the 3 moments I really remember, at a high moment in yourself.
I think mine as an Arsenal fan are unfortunately they're not as glorious.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to be about
it's very small things. It's very small things. I think my favorite in football is probably it's not an Arsenal moment. It's actually Madrid 2014 La Decima. I think to beat Atletico Diego Simeone's team the way he did, to be 1-0 down for most of the game.
That's a deep cut, dog.
Yeah, 92-48. Sergio Ramos. It's Madrid's version of the Aguero moment.
That's a deep cut.
No, because it was done. It was done. It was to have found it from there. Obviously, I've seen my team. I've seen Arsenal lose the Champions League. I've seen us lose League Cup finals.
Europa.
You see what I'm saying? Like I've been under heartbreak.
No, we've seen you lose, yo.
Like in that moment, there was a team that I really do care for that gave me a moment of relief. That's after Arsenal have like broken their trophy hoodoo.
That can't be the best one. Come on, man. I've given you like some real stuff right here.
Brother, the team that support have brought me like heartbreak. It's been tough. It's been tough, and that's why I'm saying the optimism I still find. What you experience as a United fan, I say it to one of my friends all the time. You guys at all times are crying in a Lamborghini. You're upset. You're upset because you have riches. Yeah. You can talk about 99. You can talk about 2008. You have
even a chicken Jose.
Yeah, and like even last season, one of your worst seasons ever. You still
lifted something.
You see what I'm saying? Like in terms of what it is to be an Arsenal fan, my greatest heartbreak is I was 9 years old when Arsenal played Barca in the Champions League final. And
then your boy, the GOAT, decided to...
No. Before that, I'm 9. I don't have control over the TV.
Yeah.
I go to bed with 10 men, but we're winning.
Yeah, and
they said, go to bed.
You said,
right now. I said, wait, please.
Just give me this moment.
Please, let me fight. I'll be grand. Yeah. But how convincing can you be at 8 years old turning 9? There's nothing. Yeah. So I went to Slumber and I was like, I'm going to win anyway.
Yeah.
And again, I have no pillars. I have no phone.
Yeah.
I'm in the car.
Hey, Sky Sports.
The radio's on. And they say Arsenal lost last night 2-1 to Barcelona.
And you had to drop them.
And I was like, And the only consolation was that like my best friend V was like when we saw each other, we were just like, bro. I was like, how did it happen? And it's just like, dog, what could we do?
Yeah.
Like we were 10 men the whole like, bro.
It was grit.
Hard, like dog to lose like that.
Sports is wild like that.
Yeah. I mean, other moments like that were highlights are all like individual players. Like one of my favorite ones is probably Van Persie's hat-trick at Stamford Bridge.
Shout out.
Of course, then a year later, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
so
when I print out the highlights, there's a low light now. If I talk about FA Cup win,
there's a guard of honor that you guys have to give us.
You see what I'm saying? I talk about the FA Cup win. Alexis Sanchez scores that screamer against Villa. What happens? He plays the piano at United. So
it's ups and downs.
You see what I'm saying? Like when I say that my highlights. No. Let's leave Arsenal.
Yeah.
Madrid gave me an untainted moment.
That's wild.
They gave me something that was pure. They just said, here. So just enjoy.
So like naturally, I wouldn't have. Like I said, with the Springboks are super euphoric.
Yeah.
No other platform of sports that it.
I think other ones are all like they're all too moment based as opposed to like a long-winded like emotional release at the end of it. Like of course you're gonna talk about things like I don't want to say 2019 World Cup win.
Yeah,
that was pretty dope. I watched that with Louis Maseko.
Okay, yeah,
that was swag.
Shout out to old man dads.
Early morning.
Yeah.
That was dope. Dope.
Okay.
But remember in high school I was slender man, 5'5", maybe. I was the slender man who didn't touch the soul the same.
Oh, didn't. Oh,
yeah. Footy's one where I can see myself, I can envision it like for the same. Otherwise, like school, St. John's beating Saints last minute. Mary Conway.
Is that
big moment?
Is that like a?
No, it's an all time pitch invasion. No, it was not.
Like, but that's why sometimes I wish I went to old boys school for like moments like that because my younger brother was a first team captain at St. Benedict and they had a great season the year before. Damn, he's getting old. He's getting old. So Sabelo was captain of St. Benedict's. They beat St. David's at St. David's. Huge thing because St. David's reckon they're hectic. They had all their old boys on the pitch, same thing, blah blah blah, fish place. We gave them work. We played St. Albans at St. Benedict's, gave them work, and then they beat Saints and they like clobbered Saints. So that was cool to see all these old boys who were my friends taken out and watch him captain the team. That was also I'll put that up there. Watching him and his his sports journey was super awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I think the difference in our experiences is probably like the beauty of it all, right?
Yeah.
That you don't have to have the same kind of or even the same memory, but to still be able to relate to whoever the person is.
Yeah.
Like the ultimate one, of course, and just you'd only understand if you're an Arsenal fan. When Henry returned, that Change banner.
Yeah.
The house was silent.
I want to tell you a crazy moment. And now that we're talking about Henri. So my boy Mfumo was working at NBA during the time, and he thinks he's so slick, but I have to share the story. So we're watching the NBA Africa game, but he's like on the morning, he's like, come collect the tickets from me. I'm like, bro, I'm going to see you the day.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, dude, trust me. Come collect the tickets from me. So we at the Hyatt. He makes me collect them at the Hyatt at Rosberg. So I'm walking up the stairs. He's sitting next to a bald dude, but I haven't paid attention. And he's like, yeah, busy on my phone, walk, I see him for more. I look down. Oh man, it's TT. It's TT, right? And if everybody who knows TT, it's Thierry Henry, guys. And he stands up, he's like, hey, what's up? I'm Thierry. I'm like,
reaction?
I'm like, bro. Like, hi, I'm Sandile. Nice to meet
you. You again?
No. I'm telling you, the composure. Hi, my name is, I mean, I'm also like, yo, everybody knows you, Thierry. All right, sharp. Then I'm like, yo, Mfumo. Dog, here's my phone. Like, that's it. It's Thierry Henry. Take this picture now.
Yeah.
And what was cool about that moment is that he calls Honks Tandile.
Yeah.
And he's like, yo, come do the same thing. I think Tandile must have broken down. Because, as Arsenal fans, I love Thierry Henry because he's a great football player.
Yeah.
But as an Arsenal fan, that's the guy.
That's the whole...
That's the guy. That's Holy Grail.
He's why
that's
we're
Holy Grail.
He's why we're here.
So, yo, man, I'd love to know if Tandile sees this at some point. Yo, how's your reaction to that day when you went to go meet Thierry Henry? Must have been wild. Yeah.
But yeah, like, I think the reason I wanted to do this episode with you is just, it's so easy to go into nostalgia, to go into hours and hours of like circular conversations. It doesn't have to have an endpoint. I think the gift that sports gives all of us, and that I hope everyone takes from this, is just, generally speaking, you got to put time into the things that you love.
100%.
I think sports, because it's this live thing, you have to catch it as it's happening. It forces you to prioritize it, right?
Yeah.
Like you have to log in. I say this after having walked out of an Arsenal at halftime this weekend because I lost my head. And we won, by the way, thankfully.
Yeah.
But there's very few things that I think can evoke that much positive emotion that don't have you actively involved in the same way.
100%.
And I think this year, that's what I want to make the podcast about. Like, I want this podcast to ultimately be about this thing of, if I had to show a random person something, right? Someone I've just been in the streets, I was like, dude, I'm in this weird place. I'd like to have this as like the collection of, dude, there's all these different things that I feel like you should be trying to pay attention to.
Yeah.
There's all these different voices that are like just around that, there's so much value in just speaking to anyone you know.
Yeah.
But anything. Like I when people speak about like the world being a loneliness crisis, it's just like, you don't have to be. We have all the resources, we have all the tools.
Support a team, you'll find somebody.
Yeah, you'll find someone. Like, go to these places. Go to bench warmers. Like, go find people engaged in like shared activity. Like, you see this rise in battle.
Yeah.
Right. Again, it's another example of the fact that like
I'll tell you that I'm the guy. I never thought I'd be so obsessive about paddle.
Everyone says they're a guy at paddle. I don't know who says I'm bad at paddle.
No, look,
everyone's hard at paddle.
Look, it's a journey. There's times I couldn't serve, I couldn't get the ball over the net. But like what we're talking about repetitive and being obsessive about getting better and all those things intangible about sport. But what's the great thing about like paddle? And just go back on a story that and I hope you just give me some time on this is I'm watching one of my homeboys play a random tournament because he's decided that outside of playing with us and his friendship group, he's gonna meet more people. Like randomly on Playtomic, you can just go and enter an Americana tournament.
Fez?
No, Mongezi. Mongezi, one of them. But Fez.
Didn't Fez and Billy win?
Yeah.
No, so but they don't struggle, they're hot.
Yeah, but they're hot. I've voted ahead on that. So the beauty about that is that the strangers that he met, completely culturally different here. Yeah. But this one thing is enough to bring them in, so much that I just went to go watch him. Then the Oaks are like, yo, do you have your racket here? And luckily I had it in my wallet. Changed. Got to know the guys, chilled, had a beer or two, and then, now we've connected, and now we're playing in the next week. Yeah. And one thing about sports, and it's a corny thing to say, is that the ability to connect people on such a different level, because
a basic level.
Basic level.
Just, we both like this thing. That's enough.
Yeah, because the one thing that life is happening now is that you're never gonna agree with anybody on politics. You're never gonna agree with anybody on social dynamics. one thing about sports, it kind of clears the ground.
Yeah, like you just want this.
We just want to win. We either want to play together, and that's the beauty of sports. Whether you're an adult at 35 or a kid at 6, 7, you know, and your parents have completely split you apart. In terms of cultural beliefs, you know, economic opportunities. If you're good at sports, they're kind of going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And that's what I always love about sports. Sports is a great equalizer in a lot of issues.
Yeah.
You know, and it also shows that life is not that bad. That's the one thing I love about sports. That, you know,
I think it makes everyone childlike.
Yeah,
like that's the best thing about it. Like you just want to win this thing. It makes you competitive. Like really small things.
100%. And like, the beautiful thing about sports is that it also makes life not that serious. I mean, me and you were at bench warmers together watching the Arsenal United game, and for that moment, we probably hated each other for the 90 minutes. But when it's done, we know that it's just sports. I'm gonna shake your hand. We're gonna talk.
And have the chuckle, and you can move on.
And it builds community, and there's so many people I've met, you know, just in the sporting community because of how, you know, sport connects. So that's what I love about that.
Yeah, like honestly, like as you guys know, I keep emphasizing this podcast is about connection, and more than anything else, I hope that you guys. There's no need to feel as lonely as I know people do.
Yeah.
I feel like there are so many different ways in which we can like try get better with each other. Like the type of things that exist in the world today. Like the world's a scary place. The world's dark, bro.
It's dark.
like at times it's actually terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, I think this year more than any other year, I really want to focus on the things that, you know, make things easier. Like I want to find more chuckles. I want to make this year as happy as it can possibly be. Like everything else, like I feel like at this age, everyone dealt with some shit. You've dealt with some shit,
yeah, man.
And I've realized it doesn't serve you to stay in the past, to hold on to all the pain you've endured. It's just like, dog, it's still gonna be there. The pain will still be there.
Yeah,
you have to choose to focus on things that you like.
100%.
And I'd like to think that, you know, it's helped to speak about things that I found really difficult, but this year more than any other year, I want to speak about things that I really enjoy.
Yeah, the Philadelphia Cup.
Yeah,
you know, that's something I also feel that's a big focus for me. You know, it's not that bad. Life is good. You know, yes, there are trials and tribulations and things that we got to get over. I mean, for me, last year was a crazy year. But you know, moving into 2025, moving to look at my goals. You know, there's a lot of things to be happy about.
Yeah, and
I think that's what, you know, people should be focusing on. And you know, I'm not trying to be preachy, but just focus.
No, like I'm being preachy. Yeah, I'm full preach. I'm full preach.
Okay.
I really do think that it's really important that you always like the things that you know you look forward to, like even passively. Don't deny yourself that opportunity. Don't deny yourself the small things.
Yeah, man.
If it's just your favorite show, if it's whatever it is that your great interest is, go to the concert. Go to that random. Just whatever you can do. The time is so finite. Yeah. You have to go after what you want. You have to indulge. Go to selection. Go see these things.
Steve Compella said it, if I want to use that sports guy. Steve Compella said, yo, at the end of the month, go buy yourself that shoe. You may not be able to afford it, but most importantly, it'll make you feel good. So that's how I feel about life.
Yeah.
I really don't be listening to Steve Compella on such a deep level. But
he was spitting.
Then he was spitting facts on that.
Dog, it's like this thing's about the simple pleasures.
Yeah.
But the simple pleasures, about a cheap chuckle, something tiny that makes you laugh. Yeah. Go to a comedy night. Do anything. Yeah. Anything. Make your life lighter.
Yeah.
But lads, thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. This has been a much lighter, as promised, episode of Who Would You Tell. Shaz, thank you for joining me.
I got you, bless.
That's appreciated.
Sure.
Either.
Cheers.